What are we drawing today, dude?
Corn stalks.
Corn stalks and some pumpkins.
And some pumpkins.
All right, dude, you get your marker?
Yeah.
All right, we hope you're going to follow along with us. You have a marker, something to draw with, and some paper in front of you. Now, we're drawing corn stalks and pumpkins because what season's coming up?
Autumn.
Yes, it's right around the corner. We can already feel the air getting colder.
Yes.
All right, you ready to start?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We're using Sharpies, but you don't have to. If you are, though, you want to make sure you have more than one sheet of paper so it doesn't go through and get on the table. We also have our colored pencils. Look at those colors. That gets me in the mood for November,
Yes.
Halloween,
Bacon.
Thanksgiving. Bacon, yeah, kind of.
Bacon.
We
Yes.
got yellow, orange, red. We have a tan, a light brown, and a dark brown. Let's put them off to the side. We're first going to draw our pumpkins down at the bottom, and we're going to draw the tall corn stalks coming out from the top. Okay, so right in the middle, let's draw a pumpkin.
Okay.
We're going to draw a circle. We're going to keep this part easy. Nice and simple. We got our first pumpkin. Then we're going to draw two lines coming out of the top. This is for the stem, and we'll connect the top. Then we're going to draw the lines coming down the pumpkin. And I just drew 3. We got our first pumpkin done. Now we're going to draw 3 more pumpkins, but we're going to use overlapping. So the way that we do that is we can draw another pumpkin right next to this one, but look, I didn't draw a full circle. It's behind this one. So we only drew part of a circle. Then we'll do the 2 lines coming out of the top for the stem and connect the top. Good, and then let's draw those lines coming down the side of our pumpkin. All right, now we're going to fast forward this part where we're going to draw another pumpkin right here and one more on this side. Now at the bottom of our pumpkins, we're going to draw a pile of leaves. So we can draw a line that curves out and then curves back in. Looks like a football.
Yeah.
We can draw a line down the middle if we want to. Now we're going to draw a lot of leaves underneath all of our pumpkins, but we're going to fast forward. We're going to repeat those same steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it right
now.
I like how many leaves you put all over your pumpkins. You ready for the corn stalks?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to draw the first one coming out of the middle. We're going to draw it really tall, so we're going to start up here and we're going to draw a line all the way down and connect to our pumpkins. Good. Now we're going to start back up at the top and we're going to draw another line right next to it and see how I get thicker towards the bottom, but we don't want to get too thick. Good. Now right at the top, they have kind of a flower part or the seed part. And I'm going to draw little leaf shapes, but they're seeds. They look like the top of like wheat almost. Good. Now for a corn leaf, they're really cool. They come up and then they bend down. So we're going to draw one up here at the top. So we'll go up and then back down. Good. Then we'll start at this point, come back up, and then back down. There's one corn leaf.
Yeah.
That's not too hard. And if we want to, we could draw some corn coming out just like that. All right, should we draw more leaves?
Yes.
Okay, now when we draw the leaves, we're going to alternate sides. So on this side, we're going to draw a leaf over here, down, up, down, and back down. Then we're going to draw another one on this side. Then we'll switch. Switch again. If we go too fast,
Pause the video.
yes, pause the video. Don't get worried if we go too fast because you can always stop the video and take extra time. Good job. Now I added one more leaf because it looked a little blank right there. And then I'm going to go back in and add a couple more things of corn on the different sides of our corn stalk. Awesome. Now we're going to draw 2 more corn stalks, 1 on each side. So let's come back up here and we'll draw another line straight down. Come back up to the top. Start at that point. Get further away, except don't get too far away. We don't want our corn stalk to look like a tree.
Yes.
Now we'll go back up at the top and we can draw the little seeds coming out. Now, the tricky part is we're going to use more overlapping. So just like we used overlapping down here with our pumpkins, we're going to use overlapping with the leaves. So we'll go up, look, see how it connected? And then we can imagine that leaf being behind this leaf. Yeah, so if you want to, you could also draw the little point coming behind the other leaf. There we go, good. So then we'll switch sides, go over to this side, and we're going to go all the way down. Then we can go back in and add some corn. All right, let's draw one more stalk. We're going to draw it over here. Start up at the top, connect down to the pumpkin. There you go. I like how this one's going behind the leaves. That's really cool. Now let's draw the other side of the stalk. Then draw the top. What should we draw next?
The leaves.
Yes, we should draw the leaves, and we're going to do more overlapping with this side. Okay, and then we can go back in and add the corn. Chuckers, good job, man. You did awesome on overlapping the corn stalks and the leaves. Now what should we do next?
Color it.
All right, let's put our markers off to the side. We've got our colored pencils. And we're going to use tan for the corn stalks. And we're also going to use orange and dark brown, or this light brown, for our pumpkins. And then the leaves, we can color any color we want, any of the fall colors. And then at the very end, we're going to use the dark colors to do some shading.
Okay.
All right, you ready to fast forward?
Yeah.
Let's do it right now. Good job, Chuckers. Now you guys at home can pause the video to match the coloring that we did. Now we're gonna shade, right?
Yes.
We wanna make this look more 3D, or everything looks really flat. The pumpkins look flat and the corn stalks look flat. So let's first shade underneath the pumpkins. We're gonna get our dark brown, and we wanna just press lightly on the leaves right next to the pumpkin. We just wanna add a little shadow that goes around the bottom side of the pumpkin. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Now we got that shadow in there. It looks like the leaves are going underneath the pumpkins. Now let's switch to our medium brown. We're going to imagine the light or the sun shining down on top of our pumpkins. So what side of the pumpkins should we shade?
The bottom.
The bottom, yes. So we're going to start really dark on the bottom of our pumpkin. We'll put a crescent on the very bottom. And then as we go up the pumpkin, we'll get lighter and lighter until we're hardly touching the pumpkin. And that'll blend or shade, and it'll look like a gradient. Now, we can also add a shadow in between the pumpkins. So see how this pumpkin is behind this one?
Yeah.
We can add a shadow on this side. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch to the dark brown and get a little darker shadow in between. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool?
Yeah.
Now it looks like this pumpkin is in front of that one. Now we're going to do the same thing to all of the pumpkins.
Okay.
I really like how many leaves you had on your drawing, so I added more on mine.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you ready to shade the stalks?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to switch to our medium brown, and we're first going to shade right here, the bottom of the stalk. And we're going to start really dark at the bottom, and as we go up to the top, we're going to get lighter and lighter. You know, I'm going to switch to the dark brown. I think I like the dark brown better. Start dark, press heavy, and then as we get towards the top, we get lighter and lighter. Now if we want to, we can go back over with the tan and smooth out the pencil marks. We're going to do that to each of the stalks.
Okay.
But first, let's shade our leaves. We'll start at the middle or towards the stalk. We'll start dark, and then as we get to the outside of the stalk, will get lighter. Is that cool?
Yeah.
We can do that to each leaf. And then if we want to, we can also add a little shadow on the corn. Okay, so we finished that first corn stalk. You've already started on your next one.
Yeah.
Good job, man. Give me 5. We're gonna fast forward and we're gonna complete shading the rest of our corn stalks.
Okay.
All right, let's do it right now. We finished coloring our corn stalks, man. Good job. It turned out awesome. It's okay that they look a little different.
Yeah.
I think they should look different. I really like that you drew a big pumpkin right there. You could draw little small pumpkins.
And then one huge one.
Yeah, you could draw a massive one in the background. That would be way cool. You could also draw more corn stalks. You don't have to draw just 3. You could draw a whole field of them.
Yeah.
This is a great art lesson for the changing season. We hope you had a lot of fun, and we'll see you later, our friends. Goodbye.
Bye.